Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious.
Everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things sustainable, eco-friendly, and consumer conscious for a year now. And wow, we are 3,000 strong, which I have never imagined in the million of years of running this channel. I just thought my family would be watching and giving me like the big thumbs up. So thank you so much for coming over here, for having a look, for liking what I'm putting out there and supporting this channel. And I'm gonna keep going for everyone who is watching, and I'm going to keep talking about my experience as a gray-haired, low-waste, conscious consumer, as well as just giving you suggestions about how to tackle this whole conscious consumerism idea in your own everyday life. So today, since I have been living this low waste, conscious consumerism life for about a year now, I really wanted to talk about what lessons I have learned from living this way in a year, and maybe along the way, some suggestions for anyone who is thinking about starting a zero waste / low waste lifestyle. So if you're a beginner or you're just curious, stick around and let's get into the video. If this is something you're interested in, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you like more of the videos. And don't forget to share this video if you really like what I am talking about and you would like to spread the word about sustainability. So when I first started this journey of really living a more conscious lifestyle in terms of consumerism, I thought it would be so easy to just transition into a low waste / zero waste. I thought I would be completely zero waste from the beginning. But what I found was there's a lot of obstacles in the supply chain that is available to regular folks like us, regular consumers, that prevents us from being completely zero waste. So the way I tackled that was to start area by area. So I started really with personal care, and I've switched up some things in my bathroom, and then I moved on to the kitchen. And then after that, I really went after the big ticket items like no fast fashion, buying secondhand items where possible first, and really thinking through my purchases. And I found that if I thought about sustainability, at first at least, in very compartmentalized ways, it was easier for me. It was easier for me to comprehend where I was going with this whole thing, with this whole idea. And this is why at the beginning of this channel's journey, I really had videos that focused on different areas in my house where I changed things up. So if you are thinking about starting a zero waste lifestyle or a low consumerism lifestyle, really find an area where you think it would be the easiest for you to make the switch and start there. And once you start there, you will find that you will find ways of switching to more consciously produced products in other areas of your life. The next thing I learned was that I actually don't know anything, so I needed to find out how to lead a more sustainable lifestyle. So if you are just starting out, if you're really curious about how to do the swaps in different areas of your life, I suggest reading a book about it. The book that I'm reading right now, and the book I wish I had read a year ago, is called this, and it takes you through every single aspect of a person's life and how swaps for a sustainable option can be made very easily. And this is kind of like a manual that I wish I had at the beginning of this journey, and I didn't pick it up until now. Right now, of course, as I'm reading it, I'm like, well, obviously. But a year ago, I wouldn't have thought that these things were obvious. And additionally, this book is hilarious. It is so funny. It's written by a woman, which is always a plus. And I think it's a great purchase for somebody who is starting out. So if you're just starting out, with your zero waste journey, I highly recommend this book because it'll teach you how to do it. And it doesn't have to be zero waste either. It can be just thinking through how you can make a more conscious choice, a more sustainable choice in every single purchase or every single kind of little change in your life. I'll have the link to the book down in the description below so you can get it from there or just get it where you want to get it. So the next thing I found out while going through this conscious consumerism journey is that zero waste, at least for me, is never going to be possible. But what is possible is conscious consumerism. So throughout this year, I tried to really reduce my waste, especially at the beginning. I really went for products that are packaged only in glass or tin or recycled cardboard, and where possible, I bought bulk foods. I still buy all my vegetables and fruits without packaging, and I just really thought that I could do it. But the longer I went on this journey, the more I realized that not everything that I need in my life is going to come either unpackaged or in a package that I would be satisfied with. So, I tried a lot of things. I tried to DIY my own creams. I tried to DIY toothpaste, and some things have worked out and some things did not work out. However, through thinking about how I can DIY things, or through thinking how I could find better choices for the products that I use, I have really become, I would say, a conscious consumer. Meaning, when I think about something that I need, I first think about, can I make it? If I know the ingredients and I know that it'll work through experience, I'll make it. Like, I have decided to forever make my own hand cream because it really has worked for me in the past. Second question I ask is, can I get it secondhand? And if it's like clothing or toys or even kitchenware, yes, absolutely, you can get them secondhand. But if we're talking about makeup, obviously you can't get it secondhand. And lastly, if I need to buy something new, I go ahead and try to think of ways that I can get this thing that I normally use, but it comes in a very sustainable either packaging or it's made out of sustainable products. So for example, this year, as I've talked about in my low buy year, I really needed to renew my undergarments. So normally I would have gone to like Victoria's Secret and gone berserk. But this time I really researched companies that make undergarments out of either recycled materials or through really ethical production lines. And I ordered some from Under Protection and Organic Basics, and I'm really happy that I've done that because I have the thing I needed anyway, but I know that it has been made with ethics in mind, with the environmental impact in mind. So that's kind of the point I'm trying to get to. Zero waste is not possible unless you are really committed, unless you live in like the perfect area that has all the bulk stores, which I don't live in. But conscious consumerism is possible for anybody who is willing to try it. The next thing I have come to realize is that you don't have to DIY everything. And this is actually where my channeling comes from. I wanted still to be quite cool while being sustainable, so I didn't want to turn into the stereotypical zero waster who has dreadlocks and wears brown linen or hemp. Although these are great materials, and dreadlocks, if they work for you, that's great. It's just that I didn't want to portray that image. I wanted to start this channel to show people who are like me, who don't maybe necessarily think about sustainability, I wanted to show them that you can be sustainable while not compromising your lifestyle. I have come to realize that in fact, you don't have to DIY everything. And like I said earlier in the video, I did DIY a lot of things, and some of them I am definitely keeping, and some of them I am definitely not keeping because they just did not work out for me. In fact, there are lots of great products available on the market that are made from natural ingredients, that are made in an ethical manner, and then are packaged in really either reusable or recyclable materials. And that for me is already good enough to the point where I don't have to think about DIYing everything. So if that is something that is stopping you from trying out a low waste lifestyle, don't worry, there's lots of products on the market that have already been made for you, and you don't have to think about making them. The next thing I learned is that being imperfect is better than doing nothing. I told you at the beginning that I have started this journey by changing one little thing at a time, and really that has worked for me quite well. However, I meet a lot of people who are almost making fun of me sometimes for doing this lifestyle, because in their minds it's not worth doing because the world is going to explode anyway, and I'm just wasting my time thinking about even that the fact that I'm making these little changes makes an impact. But I really do think it does. And I think if we are all collectively going to be doing little things imperfectly, maybe just in an area that works for us, that is better for our impact on the planet than all of us doing absolutely nothing, which is what I've been doing until last year. So sometimes when I'm down, I have eco-anxiety about just not doing enough, or why am I even doing this? I remember that little steps just make a big difference. It's better than everybody doing little things is always better than everybody not doing anything at all. The next thing I learned is that leading by example is always better than preaching. I found that if I was just bringing my reusable cup along with me, or if I pulled out my toothbrush in front of my friends who were staying over and they saw my bamboo toothbrush, they would ask me questions. So people were more likely to ask questions about my lifestyle when I just led my lifestyle and they saw it, rather than me talking about my lifestyle to them and forcing on them. It almost like turned people off of it, because then I was telling them what to do rather than them coming into it themselves. So I find it's the same with veganism, it's the same with vegetarianism, it's the same with people who don't wear leather. If you are going to be preaching and telling people why they shouldn't do certain things and what they should do instead, they are more likely to just not listen to you because you're the crazy person who has decided to be drastic about something. But if you are just leading your lifestyle, and if people ask you about it, you talk to them about your reasons and how you do it, people are more likely to translate that somehow into their own world. So for me, of course, a lot of what I do has to do with my gray hair. So I don't tell people that they should go gray, but when people ask me about my gray hair, I tell them as much as I can, or as much as they want to listen. And since I have started this channel, more and more people around me have decided to go gray, especially with the quarantine, and then they come back to me and they ask me how to be gray in a more sustainable manner. That's when I talk to them about their shampoo bar choices and things like that. So very important thing that I have learned. If you want more people to embrace this lifestyle, it is probably better to just lead it and let people come to it, rather than tell people what you're doing and turn them off of it. And finally, the thing that I learned that is the most valuable, I think, in the last year is that really I need very little to be happy. And I think quarantine kind of had something to do with it as well. But I really need not a lot of clothing, but I want good quality clothing to be happy. I really need good quality cleaning products and grooming products to be happy. I want them to be cruelty-free. And really, when you think about consumption, and the consumption in the traditional way and how it's being pushed onto people through advertisement and marketing, they always tell you that you are not happy, you are not good enough if you don't have this thing. And I found that by not having so many things, in fact, I am happier because I'm more content with the good quality products that I have, and my life is less cluttered. So that is kind of, I think, the biggest takeaway that I found from leading this lifestyle is decluttering my space, thinking through purchases and holding off on impulse purchases, and really being more conscious about how I'm living and how my life impacts everybody else's life in terms of ethics and also just the earth. And it's rewarding, really useful as well. And it is way cheaper than buying stuff all the time. So these are the lessons that I've learned in the last year of living a more conscious lifestyle, more conscious in terms of consumption. And I hope that this is useful for you if you are just starting out, or if you're somewhere along this journey and you just needed kind of encouragement. And I hope that's what I provided for you today. Come back to this channel soon. I'll talk about secondhand outfits that I have been wearing, and they have specifically been styled by me. So not really styled, just put together for this gray hair, for the colors and styles that I think works best for the hair. So I hope I'll see you soon, and thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Sometimes when I'm just down and I'm wondering whether anything I'm doing is making any changes, because people around me aren't doing anything,